It's week 4 of the 2028 season, and there's no love lost between these NFC West foes. Buckle up. There's football coming your way, and it's coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gardner. Charles, you talked about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by a Heisman runner-up during his college days. It's the versatile Jalen Hurts.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down. The numbers for Mixon last week, 11 carries, 61 yards, and a touchdown.
Just an all-right day from him last week. He really didn't break out for the huge yardage he had hoped going in. I talked to him before the game, though, and he knows this is a new, fresh opportunity. He's put last week behind him, and his focus, getting some extra yardage with every carry he receives this week.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. In motion left comes Brown. Here's Hurts to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards there on 3rd down as they pick up a 1st and 10. Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Hurts. Flushed out right. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. Hurts dangerous when he runs that football. He's got a first.
Give him a little extra credit there. His head was cool as the play broke down. Didn't force a throw, and in the end, got to show off his athleticism with a nice gain to bring up a new set of downs.
A short throw caught by Andrews. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. From the 31, here comes 2nd and a yard. Throwing is Hurts. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And the broken tackle helps lead to a 1st down gain.
He was brought down at the 28-yard line. It's a gain of 3 and a 1st down.
An option handoff here to Mixon. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. And they'll employ the jumbo set now on 2nd and 1. Hurts sets up to throw it. And that'll be caught by the big tight end, Andrews. That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and that's going to bring up second down. Brown goes in motion left. Throwing on second and long. Hurts. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up fourth down.
Brandon, watching their tape from last week, I saw plenty of plays like we just saw there, forcing incompletions. It was key in their win last week. They're hoping the same thing happens this time out, too.
Prater's kick is good, and the opening drive of the game yields 3. And all in all, a pretty decent opening drive, Charles. Pretty balanced. They had the passing game going and the rushing attack, too.
I would think they have to be happy with that start because you get your ground game going, which means your offensive line and your runners are pretty happy, and then you get your aerial attack going as well. So your quarterback and receivers have smiles on their faces. Now both up to speed, awaiting their next possessions for this game. They can't wait to get started again.
So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And leading them out there, their 6'5" quarterback.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
On the ground with Bigsby to start the drive. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
Holding offense.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They fake the give. Newton. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be second down.
At the 22-yard line.
Now it's Newton. They'll set up a screen for Bigsby. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down. When you look at this defense, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And all defensive teams that I know talk about creating turnovers. Takeaways, they call them. And anytime you can get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really, really good performance. They exceeded that number in a big way.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a 1st down.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the 1st down marker, and his early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
On 1st and 10, it's Bigsby. And he'll be taken down at about the 45. The rushing numbers for Bigsby a week ago, pretty good as he found himself in the end zone on 2 separate occasions.
And those are the most important numbers because no matter what you pile up prior to the goal line, getting in is all that matters. Putting those numbers up on the board, and they love them when they're 6s.
And they run the option on 2nd down. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Off play action. Newton. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in for the touchdown. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And his guys have taken the lead. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Back onto the field comes this offense ready for their second drive.
Early on, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 4 yards the pickup, first down. He'll look to throw. Got him in. It's Brown. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Well, this defense very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there. And they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
And he's going to be touched down, but he's got the first down.
A gain of 7 and a first down.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it.
This goes out wide for Mixon.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4.
Again, he'll drop to throw. A short throw caught by Andrews. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
What a drive. This has been just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
An option handoff here to Mixon.
Gets around him. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they go to work on a 1st and goal. They'll drop to throw. And this is going to be intercepted.
CD, when he went to throw down, I'm not sure if he just didn't see where the defense was, or whatever the case, not the throw you're looking for on 1st and goal.
Not at all, because, look, let's face it, that close to the goal line, if you throw an interception, is going to hurt on any down. But really, the only down you can kind of live with is if you do it on 4th down. The first 3, if you don't have it wide open, just get rid of it. Make sure they can't get it and live to fight another down. 1st and goal, and you throw the pick, not good at all.
Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their second drive.
Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
Here's 3rd and 6.
Third down and 6.
Newton now to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
Kittle's got his first catch, and it's also a first down.
And I feel a little bit like a traitor as a former defender because that big man did not want to go down and refused to go down. If you're a defender and you don't get the right angle on a big tight end like him, he can run right through you like you're not even there, and he did a lot of that on that play.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down.
That'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
5 brings up 2nd and 5.
From the gun, Bigsby.
And he works free. And he'll take it down shy of 45 at the 46. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
Connects with Kittle underneath. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1.
At the 38-yard line.
In motion, Slayton. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2. In motion right, one of the tight ends.
On 3rd down, here's Bigsby.
And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
First and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Play action. It's Newton.
Now throw out wide, going to be incomplete. Now a 2nd and 10.
Leads to 2nd and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Now a play fake, and it's Newton. And he comes back with one complete. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a first down.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
Here's a give to Bigsby.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Another run by Bigsby.
And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So that flag obviously takes away the good yardage that they had on the play.
And talk about a momentum shift, because we can visibly see this celebration shifting from one side of the field to the other as soon as everyone saw the flag.
Throwing is Newton.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 13.
Here's Newton.
Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. Picked up by Trey Brown.
Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops.
So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. In a close game like this, Charles, those interceptions like they had on the last drive could be costly, but here they've got another opportunity to seize control of this game. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown! Marvin Mims, 89 yards. And his guys are going to retake the lead.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. Prater for the extra point, and the lead is now 10-7. Those are the runs the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Been a little bit of an interesting start. The first drive for him, Charles, they had the passing touchdown. The second drive, he threw the interception. So we'll see what this third drive of the ball game brings.
Yeah, it's kind of a tiebreaker, isn't it? I mean, that's the tough part for them and for him because, yeah, things went really well in that first one, not so well on the second one. He wants to get back to what he did to get this game going.
Give to Bigsby on the option. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be second down.
Second and 6 at the 44-yard line.
Newton now to throw. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Now a handoff to Bigsby. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
And Bigsby once more. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
1 yard loss on the play. It's now 3rd and 10.
Back to throw, Newton. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. This one angles out of bounds in a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
A gain of 3, 2nd down. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they gave up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards on first down. That's what they talk about us all the time chains are on target, ahead of schedule. They were after that run.
Result is a first down.
From the gun, it's Hurts. Over the middle, hauled in by Lamb. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Hurts will turn and signal for a timeout, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Back to throw now on 1st down. Underneath to the tight end, Burton. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. They'll look to throw again. And a throw right sideline is complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A good pickup there at 22. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. Underneath to the tight end, Burton. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 5. Back to throw again. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. Shakes off the sag. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And they'll get this down to the 10. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A 1st down, a 16-yard gain. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call.
After the sack, you could understand him maybe being a little bit nervous back there, a little skittish, but looked awfully decisive when he took off and ran.
Very decisive and picked up that 1st down in the process. Prater's kick is good, and the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
A final shot before the break. Newton. And that's caught inside the 35. And finally, he's taken down at the 18. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you two in a bit. For now, plenty of early game action around the NFL to get you caught up on, so let's get to it. We'll begin our trip around the NFL with an interesting one right off the bat. And it's the visiting side who have the lead in that one. Stetson Bennett, 2 touchdown passes thus far. Next, we head off to check out another game. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. Devontae Adams, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. As you can see, the score there in the second quarter. Jalen Hyatt, a touchdown reception. We were certainly treated to an entertaining first half. Both these teams with some high points and maybe a couple of low points as well. So it's going to be a question of who can be the most disciplined team going forward.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. With this offense ready to go to begin this third quarter. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
Connects with Kittle underneath. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards there, first down.
First and 10 at the 41-yard line.
In motion, Slayton. And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on first and 10.
And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time.
2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down. To throw is Newton. That's complete to Slayton. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 3rd and 2.
Makes it 3rd and 2.
Newton. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
They'll bring a tight end in motion right. Here's Bigsby. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
First and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Here's Newton. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's second down.
A gain of 5 brings up second and goal at the 3-yard line.
Again, Newton to keep it. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And his guys are an extra point away now from taking the lead.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will put them on top here in the 3rd. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The visitors' offense and Jalen Hurts ready to take over once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. Hurts. Able to hit his target, Lamb. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left. Throwing is Hurts. Staying on his feet. Fighting through it. He's got space. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. When in doubt, do it yourself as he keeps it for 3 and a first down.
Results in a first down.
Inside handoff to Mixon. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. 43 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Hurts sets up to throw it.
A short throw caught by Andrews. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35.
So from the 37, here's a second down and 4.
At the 37-yard line.
Here's Hurts to throw.
Over the middle here to Brown. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Marquise Brown. A 5-yard gain on the play. And a first down.
They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, second and 2.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
From the 24, Hurts. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the...
Kyle Shanahan doesn't care much for that last call, so out comes
Previous
the
play
red
is
challenge
under review.
flag. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And it's caught. Touchdown.
Marvin Mims
With his second touchdown of the afternoon. And his guys have once again taken the lead.
So a very strong first drive in the second half, Charles, as they've turned that halftime deficit into a third quarter lead.
And they were pretty purposeful there, weren't they? Measured in their approach. But boy, they executed awfully well, moving the ball down the field.
Hurts will throw.
And he will find the end zone here, and the lead moves up to 7. And, of course, on the two-point try, had the option to run or pass. They pass it there, and it works.
Felt pretty straightforward, didn't it? An open receiver, ball's put on him, 2 points for them.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick.
And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
The slot man in motion right.
He'll get an opportunity with it on the touch pass.
Past the 20. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play there. 40 yards on the ground. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal.
Bigsby will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1.
2nd and goal from the 1.
Brings up 2nd and goal.
They'll bring a tight end in motion left.
A run here with Bigsby.
And this time he is in.
Tank Bigsby, his 7th rushing touchdown on the year.
And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the score as the kick's away.
And able to get this out to the 25. The visitors' offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And their lead has evaporated in this third quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
Well, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10. Yet again, targeting and finding Mark Andrews.
And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done.
It's another first down on a big gainer there, 33 yards.
When you get into the second half of a tie ball game, you start realizing that every play takes on a bigger significance, and this is pretty significant right here. This is where you start putting the pressure on that secondary, and that's a job well done there.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. And that'll be caught by the big tight end, Andrews. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. From the gun to give to Mixon. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Again, it's Mixon. And he will take this one in for a touchdown.
Joe Mixon
taking it in from 2 yards out. And his guys are going to take the lead.
So, partner, it was a passing game that drove them down the field, but when they get close, they trust that man in the backfield, and he took them home.
And they trust their offensive line as well, because so many of these units, they specialize in either pass protection or run blocking. This group shows its versatility and gets both done on this drive.
Extra point good by Prater, and they will take a 7-point lead. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. So both offenses come to life here in this third quarter as this is shaping up for a good finish.
This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Back now here on EA Sports, as it looks like we are just about set and ready to begin with the fourth.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this fourth quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. From the 32-yard line now, here's 2nd and 5. He's going to try and take off with it.
And the ball is knocked out. It's going the other way. And some space here.
He may go.
And he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown.
This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room. Boy, they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave them a comfortable lead.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure.
Review.
Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Here's Newton. It fights him off. And caught by Cameron right side. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains. On the carry, Bigsby. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And a good push there defensively as they stop him at the 48. Gain of just 1. This offense on 3rd down today, they've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. This is 3rd and 4. Now Newton. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 63 yards receiving for him now, and that last catch good enough for a first down.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield, and when they see openings, take their shots.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Hands it off out of the gun. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
Newton now to throw. And this one's incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this is too far behind his man. He missed him. It's incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. Back to throw now in his own end zone. That one taken in by Burton. And no forward progress here. This is going to be a safety. So they dump off the pass, get the completion, but couldn't get out of the end zone, partner.
You don't see that very often either, Brandon. A team backed up, trying to complete a pass, but a complete one that's so close to their own end zone that it turns into a safety, that's rare.
After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. This is taken at the 15. And now the rookie's free.
type of return that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense now. They've got to go out on the field almost like it's a sudden change, almost like it's a turnover. They've got to go out there and try and stop them. But, boy, what a tough spot they're in.
The home team's offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Now a play fake, and it's Newton. That's going to be caught by Bigsby. A great move in there, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that will bring up 2nd down. In motion, Slayton. On 2nd down, here's the option. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. Newton now to throw. He'll buy some time right. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And his guys have taken the lead here in the 4th.
Defensively by now, you know his ability. You know he has it in him to take off and run.
Yeah, because they knew coming into this game, but we've already seen examples in this contest that he can run the football.
I think they're going to examine different ways to rush him now. Are they going to do it with different lanes? Are they going to use a spy? But they have to come up with options because right now, he's hurting them.
Newton going to try and throw. And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. So they make the decision. They want a 3-point lead versus a 2-point lead, and they got it.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, it seems like the exact right thing to do. Put a little pressure on your defense, but the biggest thing now is you're making the other team chase you.
Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the 4th quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. 2nd down and 6 now. They'll set up a throw. Underneath to the tight end, Burton. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Underneath to the tight end, Burton. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down. Now back to throw. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Nick Bonito coming in there to record the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Mixing up the middle. 79 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. Caught the defense off guard there a bit on 2nd and long, but now you still have to deal with 3rd and long.
Yeah, you do, but you feel pretty good about the last play, don't you? And maybe it gives you a little bit of confidence dialing up the next one, that maybe your team will believe in it when you send it in.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Back to throw now on first down. Got him in. It's Brown. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. More muscle up front for this 2nd and 2. They've got 3 tight ends out there. Nixon will try the right side. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line.
Holding offense.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Looking to throw. This goes out wide for Nixon. Busting through contact. Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line. Well, the elements, the crowd, the situation. This is NFL football at its best. Here's Hurt, and the pressure gets there. He'll go down. It's a sack. And it is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss. Separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's our visitors with the football as we get you reset. And they've got a 4th down now in a game that, to be honest, has been pretty much everything we could have asked for. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The home team's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. Now Newton. Now this thrown deep for Slayton. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I don't know if you need the big shot right there or not, because you've still got time to work some of the shorter stuff and try to get into field goal range. They did go for the big one there. It would have been nice, but it winds up incomplete.
What can they draw up now? Time to find out on a 3rd and 8. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here. They'll try and run this one right up the gut. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense, as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. Now an option play on 2nd down. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the 1st down at the 29.
6 yards. It's 4th down.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. And you know, in an era of cost-cutting and maximizing your roster, this is a club that does not skimp on special teams, and in these situations, it pays dividends.
And that's great vision by the organization. When the difference between winning or losing depends on who you have kicking the ball, would you rather have a street free agent out there or a solid pro like this? Answer's pretty evident to me.
That one too wide and incomplete. Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Back to throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down here. Let's see what that's about. Okay, so the penalty on the outside for illegal touch.